Cassie, what are you doing? You might ruin my wholeness if you do that.
You're watching too much television. That can ruin your wholeness.
I think I'm watching too much television. How can I be watching too much television if all I can tune in are 6 stations on this little... In fact, I should be able to increase these receptors to receive more if I...
Yes, we have gone from a show about a group of reluctant freedom fighters trying to hold back a secret alien invasion to a show about Axe stealing cable. I'll be fair, though. At least Axe doesn't go, I don't even get Nickelodeon on this thing. Television, new religion, and everyone sing hallelujah. Politicians don't wanna listen, they only wanna make money out of you. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. We open on a full moon and find Marco being chased in the woods by something. He trips and is left helpless as a Tyrannosaurus Rex leans in for the kill. Fade out. The theme song starts. Holy shit, what is going on? Why is Marco getting chased by a dinosaur? Did they really adapt Megamorphs to those heartless bastards? Oh no, it was really all just a dream. This has got to be one of the weirdest openings in the entire series. There's a few ways we could look at it. One is that the production team actually sat down and decided that a dream about a T-Rex, a dream that is in no way connected to the rest of the episode, would be a really good way to kick things off. Another way, well, listen to the sound the T-Rex is supposedly making.
What is that? Find out? No.
Yes, those are the same sounds the Hork-Bajir made the few times it showed up. So what might have happened is that Marco was actually supposed to be dreaming about being chased by a Hork-Bajir, kind of a send-up to all the bad dreams the characters in the book series had. But when things went to production, they discovered the one Hork-Bajir costume had been destroyed or was otherwise unavailable. So they pulled out this T-Rex puppet from storage, or maybe used some stock footage from another show and hoped people wouldn't notice. Either way, they decided that the best hook for this episode was an unrelated and confusing dream sequence. Maybe there weren't any dramatic plot points they could use as a hook. So yeah, Marco wakes up in the new barn set and finds Axe engrossed with a televised yoga class. Everyone comments on how much TV he's been watching lately. Marco gets excited when a commercial for the new film Conquest Galaxy starts playing, which everyone hypes up like it's Avatar, The Dark Knight, and the Avengers rolled up into one. Though, considering the local theater usually just plays feature-length trailers for films from the 1950s, this city's probably starved for decent entertainment. Something tells me Made in Manhattan would have been a serious cultural event in this town. Of course, when Jake and Marco try to get in, tickets are sold out. But Marco gets an idea, and the two of them morph cute little mice, and they sneak in. Well, at least it's not a lizard morph this time. I know the Animorphs weren't immune to immature antics before, but since the Yeerk pool blew up, everyone seems to be relaxed, like the Yeerks have been totally defeated. And considering the plans they resort to for the rest of the series, you could argue they are. Oh, well, no wonder the movie sold out. There are like 30 seats in this theater. Marco and Jake lose control and start playing in a girl's nachos, causing her to flip out an epic nacho cam. Marco gets swept up and Jake has to dig him out of the trash. Again. They spot a dog standing in the middle of the parking lot and a honking car approaching it. A car that has 20 seconds to stop or turn, but everyone acts like there's no way the car won't hit that dog. Well, I guess his brake lines were cut and his steering fluid was drained, because he would have indeed have hit that dog had some kid not jumped in the way and absorbed the impact, destroying the car. Why is a car going that fast in a parking lot anyway? Jake and Marco are perplexed as to how this kid is unhurt. Wow, a mystery. What a dramatic plot point that could have been used as a hook instead of dreams about dinosaurs. Really, you could have cut everything up to this point and spent those extra 5 minutes, I don't know, developing character, or fleshing out the plot, or showing us how the Yeerks have regrouped since the Yeerk pool blew up. You know, you could have made a good episode. So we cut to the cyber cafe where Axe is making a thing. I think it's another TV, but we never see it again, so whatever. The boys catch up with the girls and tell them about what happened.
We just saw something unbelievable.
Where?
At the movies.
The movies.
We sort of snuck in.
Marco, you didn't have to tell them that. There's no reason they wouldn't have believed you just went to the movies. I think Marco might have the same neurosis as the Riddler. He's just not as creative about it. So they tell them about the kid, who Rachel identifies as Erek, surviving the car crash, but the girls have a hard time buying it. Sure, they fought aliens and brushed shoulders with gods, but this is impossible. The boys make a bet with the girls. If there is something actually weird about Erek, the girls will pay for their tickets to Conquest Galaxy. My God, people, you play with fire! So to find Erek, Jake and Marco morph dog and, sneak around a random park. Based on their dialogue, neither of them knew Erek would be there, and it's lucky that he was. I mean, okay, there's a sharing picnic going on, so just one line about how the Animorphs saw Erek at a sharing meeting would have offered our heroes a reason to be here. Without it, well, then there's a good chance the Animorphs have been systematically searching every park in the city before getting to this one and just hoping Erek was excited to go to the park that day. I don't know what's going on. They run up to Erek and discover that he doesn't have a scent. They rush to the barn to tell the girls, only to discover Erek waiting there for them. He reveals himself to be a Chee and shows us what he looks like under the hologram. I'm not that impressed, I'm afraid.
Without my hologram, I resemble a wolf, but on 2 legs.
Not really. You look more like a tinfoil crocodile than a wolf. Erek is played by Dov Tiefenbach, who's been in a lot of stuff before and after this episode. He was even in Jason X.
I said pause play.
He's not pausing.
Yeah, no kidding. I think we need to reboot. That does not count as a kill.
Here, he's not very good. He really doesn't have any energy in the role, but in his defense, his dialogue is dull as fuck, and they cut out all the interesting things about Erek. There's no mention of the Pemelites, no mention of Howlers, none of that nasty backstory stuff that might upset the kids. He says he's programmed for nonviolence, but never explains why or how he feels about that fact. We don't even see the Chee community. Erek is the only Chee in the entire series, but he's not a character. He's just something to drive the plot. He's here to tell the Animorphs that the Erek somehow got a hold of a Chee hologram crystal, and he needs the Animorphs to steal it back because...
I can't touch the crystal without running the risk of destroying my own hologram. This is why I need your help.
Yes. The Chee are allergic to their own technology. I've stared at this notepad document for 20 minutes now, trying to come up with the words, but I've got nothing. The Chee are allergic to their own technology. Will somebody please explain to me how that happened? So how are the Yeerks using the crystal? Well, the plan seems to be to project things around a portable Yeerk pool and grab hosts off the street. I want to think the idea is for controllers to grab the person who passes through the hologram and dunk their heads in the pool, but the way they present it makes it look like their plan is for people to stumble in and accidentally fall into the pool. Their plan requires that all human beings be incredibly clumsy. But even if Yeerks were grabbing people instead of hoping they tripped over their own feet, it's still stupid to use this method in public because it's too random, because anyone who passes through the hologram vanishes, and because when they come out of the hologram, their hair is all wet. I can see a lot of great advantages to having this kind of holographic technology, but this is stupid. So Jake, Rachel, and Erek sneak into the warehouse and the Yeerks are operating from. Rachel morphs a monkey while Erek causes a distraction, trapping a handful of controllers in a room. Chapman tries to stop Rachel, but Jake and Tiger Morph walks in front of the green screen to save the day. So where are Marco and Cassie during all of this? In the woods. Standing around. Doing nothing. No, really, they are doing nothing. And where is Axe? Well, he's running late because...
vegetables, make sure that you chop them into very small pieces, because small pieces means big flavor.
Yes, of course. Increased total vegetable surface area. It makes sense.
You don't want to soak them, you just want to saute them so that they're kind of...
They gave up. The people behind this show gave up. I mean, they didn't put in all the effort they could have before, but at least season 1 felt like they were trying to make decent television. Here they just threw up their hands and went, I'm tired of making serious TV. Let's just throw stupid shit on the screen and call it a day. Let's put Axe in a chef's hat and have him chop vegetables, because exploring the Chee's past or what the Yeerks have been doing since the Yeerk pool was destroyed would force us to think what we're doing. I swear, if this show went on longer than it did, we'd almost certainly have an episode where Axe wears women's clothing. Jake, Rachel, and Erek run out of the warehouse in human form, because I guess once the Yeerk pool's destroyed, there's no reason to worry about hiding your identity, right? Here's an idea. Why don't you pass the crystal to Tobias, have him fly away with it while you morph small and hide in the forest? What's that? Christopher Ralph wasn't contracted for this episode for some reason? Well, shit. Axe finally realizes he's late for the mission. Yes, he nearly skipped the mission to chop vegetables he almost certainly stole or purchased with stolen money. He rushes to the rendezvous point in the woods, wearing what we learn is a holographic projector used to cloak the Animorphs. Yes, Erek cannot project his hologram like in the books because that would make him useful. So the Animorphs give the Yeerks a slip and hang out in the barn, where Axe announces he's swearing off television forever. Yes, this is the moral of this episode. Seriously, the books explored war, slavery, genocide, genetic engineering, the collapse of the family unit, the morality of killing, corruption in media and politics, drug addiction, chemical weapons, patriotism, conspiracy, and one's place in the cosmos. What does anti-TV offer to the table? Well, watching too much TV is bad for you. Post-episode follow-up. My Name is Erek is really the benchmark of Season 2, the declaration that we've given up on making this a serious series, and we're just gonna throw senseless shenanigans at you and call it a day. Sure, there was a lot of stupid stuff in Season 1, but at least you could say episodes like Between Friends, The Alien, The Forgotten, Not My Problem, or The Release have genuine bite to them. And even the episodes I hated, like On the Run or Tobias, they were still approached with a modicum of seriousness, if poorly executed. Season 2 has none of that. Its limp-wristed goofiness undermines any attempt to take it seriously. What makes this even worse here is that this is the only episode in Season 2 that's adapted from one of the books. The rest of the series is entirely original stories, and it's one of the more serious books at that, presenting a race of androids with a truly tragic backstory and ending with some of the most gruesome implied violence ever. They took that and thought the best way to improve it was to slap a chef's hat on Axe. This is like taking Grave of the Fireflies and turning into a Three Stooges slapstick. Even if Nickelodeon wouldn't allow the show to be as serious as the books, this is just poor storytelling. The first 5 minutes are completely redundant. Axe's TV addiction has nothing to do with anything else in the story, and the Yeerk's hologram scheme wasn't thought out at all. Still, new character, right? Well, certainly introducing Erek will shake up the status quo a bit, right? Well, we'll see how that pans out next time. I give My Name is Erek a 2 out of 10.
That's right, sports fans. It's coming down to the bottom of the ninth. The bases are loaded. 2 men are out, and the Animorphs are coming to bat.